Hi everyone, this video will show you the basics of the iReady Teacher Toolbox. Subsequent videos target what grade level PLTs work on with students in mid-February to show how you could use the Teacher Toolbox with students. There are two ways to get to the Teacher Toolbox. You can log into iReady, click on the Resources tab, then click on Learn More under Teacher Toolbox. A separate window will appear. Do not be deterred. Click on Register Now. The other way to get to Teacher Toolbox is to do a Google search for Ready Teacher Toolbox and click on the first result. Your iReady login does not work here, so you'll need to create a new profile. Click on Register Now. Once you've completed the registration process, come back to this video. Enter your new login credentials and log in. When you log in, you'll be brought to this screen. All Wake County teachers have access to math and language arts resources. For this video, I'm going to look at language arts as it applies to everyone, but in subject area videos, I'll look at math as well. Since our school was on the 4th grade level in vocabulary, I'll look at that grade level in language arts for an overview of the resources. The toolbox brings you to classroom resources by default, but I'm going to go to program implementation instead. Scroll down to 2016 for the most updated resources and click on Teacher Resource Book Table of Contents. Before you decide whether the Teacher Toolbox is appropriate for your classroom, I strongly recommend spending some time looking through this document. It lists all the teacher resources and lessons available in the program. The table of contents also lists which standards each lesson aligns to. Once you've had some time to look through this document, I would also take some time to look through the other resources available in the Program Implementation tab. If you're ready, let's move on to Classroom Resources. This is the meat of Teacher Toolbox. There are two ways to view the materials. You can see the entire program displayed on the screen at one time, or you can click on the linked name of a unit or lesson to display only those materials. Before we look at any of these materials, please know that iReady has some very specific copyright restrictions. You are not allowed to post these materials on your website or on a cloud service like Google Classroom. You are allowed to make copies for classroom use. Toolbox lessons are highly structured, but you can still pick and choose which resources you want to use. Most resources include a student and teacher copy to guide you or another adult through the lesson. Unit openers are anecdotal pre- and post-checks of the skills covered by each unit. The interactive tutorials can be used with a group for direct instruction or at stations to practice a concept. Let's look through the student and teacher instruction books for Lesson 1 on finding main ideas and details. Each student lesson starts with a kid-friendly learning target explaining what the student will do and why it's important. As the student works through the lesson, the tasks become progressively more difficult until the student is independently able to complete the assigned work. The teacher can quickly check where each student is in the lesson by looking at the top of the page. Students are asked to reflect on their progress towards the learning target at the end of each lesson. The teacher booklet shows the learning progression, the standards and objectives focused on in the lesson, academic vocabulary used, and the different stages during the lesson. A pacing and differentiation guide is also provided. During the lesson, the teacher booklet provides advice on guiding students through their work. You'll also see specific suggestions for addressing the needs of English language learners and reluctant writers and readers. There are several ways to formatively assess students throughout the lesson, like quick writes, questioning strategies, and more. If you have students who aren't quite on level, take a look at the prerequisite ready lessons. These are lessons on the same standard from the previous grade level. They will look different as they're from another grade, but they cover the same skill. iReady has also pulled the tool for instruction aligned to the lesson's central standard into the Teacher Toolbox. At the end of each unit is an interim assessment. Language arts assessments contain multiple choice and constructed response items. Now let's look at the Ready Assessment Book. North Carolina and national assessments are similar to the iReady diagnostic assessments, but can be used as benchmarks and EOG practice tests as they cover the Common Core state standards. The PARCC and SBAC tests are used by many states as their end-of-year tests. I hope you found this helpful. Please find the video for your specific grade level PLT in the playlist below for how you could use the toolbox right now in your classroom.